So I thought it would be cool to talk about the dominant seventh chord and some of the connections we can make with other chords. So the sort of main example I'm thinking of here is like if you play a dominant seventh chord such as F dominant seventh, and generally we play the Mixolydian scale over that. But then also we can play a sus chord, sort of almost interchangeably with the dominant seventh chord and still use the same scale. So it's almost like, you know, we can use those two chords interchangeably and switch them around when we want to, depending on the sound we're looking for. Even sometimes in a blues I do that, so like so here, when I've got to the B flat 7, I've used a sort of sus chord voicing, and then maybe when I go back to the F I could also use a sus chord. Etc, etc. And then another place we can go from there is, so like one way we make a dominant seventh chord is like is to build a major 7 on top of the root of the dominant seventh chord. So like, in other words, it's a major 7 built on the minor 7th degree or flat 7th degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flat 7, and we can build a E flat major 7, and that's how we form a sus chord. Another way is to build it on the 5th degree, a minor 7th chord on the 5th degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So two ways there to build an F sus chord, an F7 sus chord, or at least two ways to sort of find nice voicings from there. And if we take this E flat major 7 voicing, we can also use an E flat major 7 sharp 5 voicing. So that's pretty nice because that just gives it like a whole other colour, and of course that's closely related to the C minor 7 I also mentioned, in that you can play a C minor major 7, and that's a really closely related voicing to the E flat major 7 sharp 5. And in fact, just like you would maybe play an E flat major 7 over C for a C minor 7 with a 9 voicing, I've got the C here and the E flat major 7 on top, or here for a C minor major 7 you can also add the E flat major 7 sharp 5 on top. So already we have a few possibilities that we can start to sort of interchange a bit when we're playing a dominant 7th. I could think about it as the C minor major 7. I might come up with slightly different sort of licks and lines and stuff. That kind of thing. And then obviously when you're playing dominant 7th, you might have already come across stuff like an F diminished, an F7 with a diminished scale, or like an F7 with a flat 9 and natural 13, so something like this kind of thing where you and that's kind of nice because you can get some nice patterns going from that. Like for example, if I take this third, 13th and the root, which is also like a D minor triad in second inversion, I can sort of move that around up a minor third each time, or down a minor third each time, so they're all minor triads on top, and you get these nice patterns, interesting patterns. And you could also maybe mix that up with like a D minor 7 chord. That kind of thing. So that's another sort of option you have when you've got dominant 7th sometimes. Depends obviously on the context whether you want to use any of these things. And then you've also got like the alter scale. So that one is in a way coming from F sharp melodic minor, in the sense that it's the 7th mode of F sharp melodic minor. So F sharp melodic minor would be this, and the 7th mode would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, starting on F, same scale but just starting on F, and that's basically the altered scale. So again, you've got that connection from the F7 to also the F sharp melodic minor. And then that's also, it could also, another mode of that is like the B7 sharp 11 scale. I mean the mixed Lydian sharp 11 scale, starting on B. And so that's basically, again, the same scale as the F altered scale, but just a different mode, the 4th mode. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, that's like a sort of another connection. So yeah, it's like another option you can potentially use on the F7, and then another connection with different chord. And obviously the F7 and the B7 are very closely related because they're tritone substitution apart. So they both have the same 3rd and 7th, except they switch round. So the F7 has A as the 3rd and E flat as the 7th, and the B has A as the 7th and E flat as the or D sharp as the 3rd. Okay, so yeah, that's quite a few things already. And another sort of connection we could maybe go to is like the Phrygian, F Phrygian. So here we're going to like lose the chord tones. No, that's not strictly true, because we've still got the root, the 5th and the 7th. We're just leaving out the 3rd. Obviously the A isn't in a F Phrygian scale, but we've still got the root, the 5th and the flat 7, but no 3rd. But it's still got that sort of dissonant sound that wants to resolve, and it's also coming, a lot of the notes are coming from this F sharp diminished chord. So an F7 is an F sharp diminished chord, but just with the F sharp flattened, and you can get these sort of Phrygian voicings by just moving this A up to A sharp or B flat, or you could also move it here, and then you've got more of this kind of D7 sharp 9 voicing, and this is quite a typical Phrygian voicing. Again, it's got a lot of those, a lot of those same diminished chord notes as the F7 has, or even some different ones, but it's still sort of coming from that diminished place in a way. So you've also got this as Phrygian as another option that really wants to resolve, and that's also related to the dominant seventh's like a minor third away, so obviously the F and the B are very related, and there's generally one that doesn't work so well. Like, so here, B doesn't work very well with this one, but here the D doesn't work. Here with the A flat, you've got the A flat Phrygian. What I mean is, like, they're related in the sense that with all of those with all of these dominant seventh chords, a lot of the notes for the dominant seventh chord are coming from this diminished chord. And the F and the B are particularly related, and the D and the A flat are particularly related. So yeah, that gives you another option, and that of course is related to like E flat, Dorian minor, for example. You could also maybe go to like it's kind of like an F Phrygian with a natural 13. So yeah, so we've got a few options already. Yeah, another one is like you can sort of play an A altered scale over an F7 chord as well. In other words, it's another way of thinking of that would be like an F Mixolydian scale with a flat 13. So you've got the natural 9 and the flat 13. Which you might have a chord like that sometimes. So and that of course takes you to like a B flat minor, a B flat melodic minor again. I mean a B flat melodic minor scale again. So in this case B flat melodic minor. So yeah, that's kind of another option. So yeah, maybe I'll just demonstrate mixing those chords a bit, and so you can get a sense of how you can sort of connect them a bit and use them interchangeably a bit depending on the context and the situation.